everyone, it's Kerry back with you today. It is Saturday the 19th of April and I'm playing along in the ABC April 2025 collab hosted by Margaret and Tony. Links to their channels are in the description box below, so if you're not sure what I'm talking about you can pop over to their channels and find out all about it. The letter today is Q and the ladies have given us Queen, Quilt and Quick Make. So I've decided to do some quick makes and I am super excited about Reenie's brand new kit. So I am going to be using that for today's project. This kit has just blown my mind and given me so many ideas, so I'm trying to rein myself in a little bit so we just do one thing today. You do not need to have the kit though. You could use the same technique. You would just need to have something else that has coordinating colours. So you could use scrapbook paper, you could use other digitals that you've cut up, that sort of things, but it will probably work best if you have things that are sort of coordinating, so something like this. So we're going to be making these today. These are just some quick embellishments and they are like ridiculously fast if you've got everything prepared. So I'm going to pop all of this over to the side and grab some bits and pieces and we will start creating. Now before we get into the creating, I thought I'd better give you a quick look at the kit that I'm using today. Now I have already cut out a bunch of this, but basically the kit has 5 pages of these labels or panels and they increase in size. So I actually don't have the largest one available because I've already cut all mine out, but as you can see they're all sort of similar shapes. They're all these rectangles and they have some nondescript sort of script and a few numbers and things like that, but each one is a little bit bigger than the previous one. So I have gone ahead and cut out a bunch of these. So I've got these ones. I'm going to work with this olive greeny colour. These are the really large ones that I had already cut apart. Now you don't need to have them separated like this. I'm just having it like this so that it's easier for the video. Now when you cut out the pages from the kit, one thing that I have done, this is just one of the pages, is I have cut out my labels with the frames. So you can see I've got the little frame around the edge here, but then I've gone ahead and cut out the same page, but I've cut the frame off just so I've got a little bit more variation in the bits that I want to use, but definitely don't need to do that. Alright, so to begin I'm just going to we'll work on 2 I think. I'm going to grab 2 of my largest pieces. I then want 2 of the next size down, but I don't want them to be too similar in colour to the one that I've already picked. So I like this one because it's got a light frame, but the background is a little bit too much the same. This one's got a dark frame, so I think I'll put that one over there. Okay, that one's got a light frame. I don't know, maybe this super light one. I'll pick that one. And then I'll go for the next size down again. So let's have a look. So I like that dark one. And maybe we'll have this light one over here. And it doesn't really matter what you pick because they're all of the same colour family, so they're all going to work together. And all I want to do to begin with is look at layering them so that I don't want my lines horizontally or vertically to be the same. So I'm offsetting my label like that. And then I also don't want my next one to match any of the previous edges either, so nothing is sharing the same horizontal or vertical line. So this horizontal line doesn't share any other horizontal line and these horizontal lines don't match up anywhere either. So once I've done that, I'm just going to pop a staple in. If you prefer you can use glue. I just like staples because A, it's quicker, and B, I can still tuck things in around the edges and they will look somewhat different. So I want to build a different sort of shape for this one, so I might layer this one up and then maybe I'll layer this one off to the side here. So this one's a little bit more tricky to make sure that I'm not overlapping, or sorry, not sharing the horizontal or vertical plane with anyone else. So something like that maybe. And just going to pop a staple in there. So I've got a start on my quick clusters. Now these are really quick to make when I'm not talking through the process, so we'll make a couple and I'll tell you what I'm doing, and then I'll make a couple more so you can see how quick they really are to put together. Once I've got this very sort of minimal base, I'm going to pick a focal point, and I'm going to pick something from these people here that have coloured outfits. So, and I think I might want something a bit contrasty in colour. Okay, I'm just going to ink around my focal images a little bit just to get rid of the white edge. Not being too fussy about it. Okay, so now I want to decide whereabouts I would like the face part of my focal to be on my background. So I don't really want to put it somewhere like that because there's a little bit of this poking through from underneath and it just doesn't look right. Same with, I don't want this square bit right next to her head. So to me, the most logical place to put her is right in the middle there. That way she's covering up all of these little nooks and crannies that the background has created when we've layered everything. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of her head because the rest of her doesn't have a background yet. And pop her down there. And then same thought process with this guy here. So I've got a sort of a sharp edge here and I've got a straight edge there. So I don't really want those edges to be visible around his head because it draws away from the focus of his head. So I think if I lift him up a bit, now I do still have some square bits here, but I think his head is up high enough that they're not going to draw too much focus. Though I could put him up just a little bit higher and build a bigger background. Yep, I think I'm going to do that. So his head is going to be poking up above my background a little bit, but I will fix that when I expand the background in a second. Okay, so I've got him and her ready, and now I want to build the background a little bit bigger around them so that, that this bit isn't sort of flapping around in the breeze. So for him to begin with, I think I don't want anything with too prominent a frame on it. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that one, and I'm just going to leave the numbers exposed and everything else will be hidden under the label beneath it. So I can apply a little bit of glue here. Just make sure that's straight. And then I need to add a couple of little bits on the sides here too because his sort of bottom part of his body is a bit floating around. So I only need something small really. Bit too dark for me. Maybe this one. Yep, happy with that. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of glue and then something for the other side as well. Actually, I might get something a bit bigger something even bigger. Again, I'm trying to make sure that my horizontal and vertical lines aren't sort of clashing anywhere. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And I can pop a little bit of glue on his hat now to stick him to the base. Alright, so now I've got to do the same for her. Now I've just made this little corner stick out too far here, so I'm just going to see if I can sneaky snip that off. Okay, so I have completed my base around my focal image, and I just want to add some other sort of embellishments now. So I have over to the side here some 49 and Market acetate leaves, and I also have some of the film strips. So that colour might match for her. So I think I just want to staple this on here. And then for this guy here, I might use some acetate leaves. So now I want to bring some labels or something else in to disguise this sort of chopped off part of their body. Okay, so I've picked my labels, and I've also picked out a flower and a butterfly to help disguise the bases of my people. So I'm just going to ink around those slightly and glue them down. There we go. So that's just ready to be either glued onto a page and used as a tuck, or you could back it onto some paper and use it just as a journaling card or something like that. So very quick to put together and really super easy if you've got all your bits and pieces out ready to go. So I'll pop these ones to the side and I'll pop some music on while I make a couple more really quickly, just to show you how quick they really can be to make. there we go, same sort of idea, just building up the background, picking up my focal image and then extending the background to suit and adding a couple of embellishments, or an embellishment and a label to finish off, and I think they came out super cute. So that was my attempt at Q for quick embellishments. I have so many more ideas for Reni's new kit that I will bring to you probably after the ABC April has finished, but I just thought the kit was perfect to use for this project. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will leave links in the description box for the kit if you are interested, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!